Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Yesterday evening, Policy Exchange put into the public domain the Home Secretary's review into extremism, or at least a version of it. It did contain some deeply concerning proposals that I would like the Minister to directly address. The report apparently says that the definition of extremism for the purposes of the Prevent and other programmes could be extended to include the spreading of misinformation, the online so-called manosphere and misogyny. So firstly, does the Minister agree with Prevent reviewer William Shawcross that we need to focus the attention of Prevent and counter-terrorism policing on those with extremist ideologies and not risk diluting attention with these much wider issues? 94% of terrorism-caused deaths since 1999 were caused by Islamist terrorism. Does he agree that combating Islamist terrorism is more important than policing the manosphere? Now, the wider issues referenced, such as violence against women and girls and more general violence obsession, are of course serious, but they are best dealt with by the police, the criminal justice system, social services or mental health services, who of course have the power to section people that pose a risk. Secondly, will the Minister commit to retaining the changes to non-crime hate incidents made by the last government? Police should not be looking into matters or recording personal data where there is no imminent risk of criminality. To do so would waste police time and infringe freedom of speech. Any move away from this will enable the thought police to stop anyone telling uncomfortable truths that left-wing lawyers don't like. Finally, the report the Home Secretary commissioned repeats the Prime Minister's previous smear that campaigning against rape gangs, who we now know are of predominantly Pakistani heritage perpetrators, is far right. And the report also says that commenting on elements of policing policy is extremist and far right. That is nonsense. Campaigning against rape gangs is not extremist or far right, and commenting on policing, whether you agree or not with the comments, is simply the exercise of free speech. So will the Minister categorically disown those remarks which were contained in the Home Secretary's report?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Let me just gently remind the Shadow Home Secretary that his remarks refer to a leaked report which, as I could not have been clearer about, does not and will not represent government policy. The work, as I understand it, because it's not entirely clear which version of a report was actually leaked, but as I understand it, the work did not recommend an expansion in the definition of extremism. And as I said to the House earlier, there are not, nor will there be, any plans to do so. Now, the Shadow Home Secretary mentioned William Shawcross, and let me again just gently remind him that this government have implemented all but one of the recommendations in the Shawcross review. The Shadow Home Secretary also asked me about non-hate crime incidents. Now, again, the Home Secretary has been very clear about this, that a consistent and common sense approach must be taken with regard to non-crime hate incidents. The government has also been, again, crystal clear that our top priority for policing is to deliver on the Safer Streets mission to rebuild neighbourhood policing, restore public confidence and make progress on the ambition to halve knife crime and violence against women and girls.